It's Sunday Night Live with your host, Putty Man. Ladies and gentlemen, Putty Man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sunday Night Live. I'm your host, Putty Man. Yes, we are going to be recapping last night's episode of Saturday Night Live with your host, Kim Kardashian West, and musical guest Halsey. It is the season 47, episode 2 for October 9th, 2021. First and foremost, thank you for coming and joining us, guys. Like I said, this is the second episode of this show. I've been wanting to do this show for a long time now, just because I like talking Saturday Night Live and I like talking about most recent episodes and the past. And of course, for those that watch this show, you are aware that Saturday Night Live is probably one of the biggest sketch comedy shows ever that introduced us to celebrities like Will Ferrell and Andy Samberg, Adam Sandler, so on and so forth. But today we're going to be recapping the newest episode, episode 2. And if you hear last week was the season premiere of course, my show, and of course, Saturday Night Live for season 47. Season 47. So here's the thing. Last week we had Owen Wilson on the show, and I wasn't familiar with the musical guest, but I did enjoy it with Owen Wilson. Of course, he's already a funny guy, so, it wasn't really hard for him to do the sketch comedy show. And, of course, he's familiar with doing live television and comedy. And as far as the musical guest, I'm not aware. Now, here's the funny part. This week we had Kim Kardashian West and the musical guest Halsey. And Halsey's actually been the musical guest for Saturday Night Live before, but she's also hosted. And she did a phenomenal job as a host. But then Kim Kardashian West got contacted by Lauren McDowell, the creator of Saturday Night Live, if you're not familiar, which most of the people that are going to be into the show are going to know that, called her up to do the show, and she even brought her family along. So she's not really good behind the camera, but there were some interesting sketches, which we're definitely going to be going into in this show. But again, if you're not familiar with it, definitely do some background, I would say. And then also, any sketches that are shown today that you're interested in watching yourself will be in the description below. So if you look, there's links. They actually put every single episode of every sketch from SNL is always on YouTube now. And there is even a Cut for Time sketch that was actually pretty funny called Costco Meeting, but they had to end up cutting it from the floor. So for those unaware, when they do the live showing, they plan for the week, and then they do the live showing. But prior to the live showing, they do a dress rehearsal, and in the dress rehearsal, they'll film everything like it's a regular show. But then they put everything together to see if it's going to be within an hour and a half plus commercials. And unfortunately, sometimes things get cut in dress rehearsal, and so they end up putting those cut sketches on YouTube. And that Costco one was the one, and actually it was probably one of my favorites, but I try to spread it out to make sure things are entertaining. So with that being said, let's start off with the cold opening. So for those, again, unfamiliar, cold opening is when they first start the show, and it's usually some kind of political behavior. So for this one, what they're doing is the Senate Facebook hearing. So there's the whole thing where there was a whistleblower with Facebook that apparently told on them about how Facebook deals with algorithm and looking at people's personal information, and it went to Senate. Now this is a very adult thing, and a lot of, this is why Saturday Night Live is a very adult show. But in it we see Cecily Strong as Senator, let me just look at this real quick, Senator Blumenthal. I'm sorry, it's Senator Blumenthal, played by Michael Day, where they show him first introducing. And then this is Mrs. Hagen. This is played by Heidi Gastar, and she's actually the whistleblower for Facebook. As we go through, Cecily Strong plays the senator of Dianne Feinstein. Then, I'm pretty sure a lot of people might be familiar with John Kennedy. He's being played by Kyle Mooney. And then we have Amy Bryant, which actually is a female, is doing the role of Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz. And then, of course, we have this is actually a new cast member, James Austin Johnson, playing Lindsey Graham. And then, of course, Chris Redd is actually playing Cory Booker. Now, as we go on, you're going to see they do also, since they're talking about Facebook, they do talk about Facebook memes and how they don't know or understand what Facebook memes are. So they're making jokes about how adults don't understand the whole concept of like memes, like the Animorph picture. They think kids are actually turning into it. Again, it's a joke on how adults don't know memes in general. And so they're commenting on them thinking actually all this stuff is happening. But the funniest thing to me is this right here. This is actually Alex Moffat, and he's playing Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, which I love how he has the crazy face. And then just to make things even better, then we have Pete Davidson. If you don't remember, Pete Davidson was the one that was dating Ariana Grande. And he ends up playing the Tom from MySpace. And so it's pretty funny how both of them played it. Honestly, that was the best part, was the Mark Zuckerberg and the Tom from MySpace part. So, again, very political. If you like the political humor, you're definitely probably going to like this one. This one turned out to be really funny. But if you don't understand memes, but you like political humor, it might also blow over your head, too. It's kind of halfway in the middle. I think this sketch was made for someone like me that loves a little bit of politics, but loves more about memes. It's pretty funny. But anyway, with that being said, we finally went to the start screen with all the credits of people. Again, we do have new cast members this season, and we do have the originals from last week. So, continuing on, we end up, and that's the cold opening that we just saw right there. Next, we have Kim Kardashian's monologue. Now, her monologue consisted of her talking about her family, about her divorce to Kanye West. And her being in the limelight and being known for because of her videotape, which I'm not going to mention here, and other things in her life, as well as people she dated or family members that she dated as well. So, yeah, and then also she does make a great joke that Norm Macdonald would be proud of, and it's really, really a dark joke, but she says that her father, aka now her mother, or however you want to look at it, introduced her to the first black person she was ever introduced to, and she makes a joke saying, do you want to guess who the first black person she met was? And she says, well, do you want to take a stab in the dark? She's making a joke about O.J. Simpson. Like, she met O.J. Simpson first, and then she made a joke about it. So it was a pretty dark joke, even for her intentions. Probably the only joke that was really good, other than any other jokes that she did when it came to the opening monologue. Okay, so then the next sketch is one where it's an Aladdin sketch. So we have Pete Davidson as Aladdin, and we have Kim Kardashian as Jasmine. And in the video, he's actually referring to how he's inadequate to her because she's a rich princess. And he also makes a joke about her having thick hips, how she would break him because he's just a lonely street rat that's fragile. But what makes it even funnier is as they're going along and he's confessing how he probably would get broken by her, that kind of thing, we end up getting one character by the name of, I got the information here, of Jortney, played by Cecily Strong, which I've never heard of Jortney. And then Ezekiel, it's a basketball player actually, or football player, sorry, Ezekiel Elliott, played by Kenan Thompson. And they flow in on a magic carpet beside them while they're doing their magic carpet ride. And basically the whole joke and premise of the sketch is about how he feels he's inadequate. Well, what it ends up with the genie coming up, and if you remember in the old Aladdin movie, the last wish is supposed to be for the genie to go free, but in this sketch, Aladdin changes his mind to be inadequate, as in having a bigger thing, and so Genie has to grant him his wish, and he ends up having a bigger thing. Jasmine's happy, and then it's the end of the sketch. It was kind of funny. It was a little out there. You could tell, especially if you look right here, it's a perfect spot to show it. Oh my God, I'm not even showing on the screen. I'm not even showing my screen. Okay, I do apologize. So, my apologies, guys. It looks like this whole time I wasn't showing the screen. Oh, Lord have mercy. Good way to start off Sunday Night Live. I look over. All right, let's get back to it again. Okay, I may have to like cut this in the edit of the thing. Oh my God. For my regular viewers, they're coming in like, what the hell, Putty, you fucked up. All right. Well, that was funny. I may have to. I'm gonna have to re go through the whole thing. But just I already went through all the characters, so I definitely messed up on that. So we'll continue from there, and I will. We will just cut out that whole part there and everything. Anyway. Wow, guys. Great start to Sunday Night Live, isn't it? All right. So, again, starting with the episode, we have a Senate hearing with of course, we see Mikey Day again. I can't believe I got to go through all this again. My unfavorite sketch is the whistleblower Facebook sketch. But anyway, we have Senator Blumenthal, played by Mikey Day, on the screen. And of course, he's questioning the whistleblower here, played by Heidi Gardner, about the goings on in Facebook. Again, I will cut all that before out and everything. Anyway, so as we go through, we see more senators coming in questioning memes more than the actual whistleblowing, and we see here Senator Ted Cruz, played by Aidy Bryant, which is a female playing a male character. And again, as I said, they continue. This is actually one of the new cast members I said earlier, James Austin Johnson. He's playing Lindsey Graham in this part, and he actually did a really good job. And then, of course, like I said, we do have Chris Redd here. He's actually playing the part of Cory Booker. And then we continue from there, and we finally get to show Mark Zuckerberg, which, again, here's the Animorphs meme that I was referring to earlier, which... not even showing it now. But anyway, they basically don't understand memes that are happening, and the whole joke is about how adults doing it. This is the character, the guy, or Alex Moffat, that plays Mark Zuckerberg, that I stated earlier. And then, of course, we have Pete Davidson as Tom from MySpace. So you got my points of view earlier about it. I do apologize that I had my screen covered for all that. I'll get used to doing all this, guys. All right. So, like I said, new cast. Jokes about her earlier. And let's go ahead and get into the sketch, because I did state you didn't really have to see much with her. They just showed her standing on stage talking about her family. And then the first sketch I talked about before. So, again, this is Pete Davidson playing Aladdin. And this is Kourtney Kardashian, Kim Kardashian playing Jasmine. And, of course, he's talking about how he's inadequate for her. And then, of course, we do have Jortney and... Let me get it back over here. Jortney right here. And then, of course, again, I don't know this football star personally. But I wrote it down. It's Ezekiel Elliott. And he's being played by Kim Thompson. He actually... I forgot about this part, too. He actually signs a football for Pete Davidson's Aladdin. But then when he throws the football, it falls off of the carpet and everything. And then, of course, there's Aladdin, or there's the genie, and he actually comes up, was supposed to get the wish of being free, but Aladdin asked him to be endowed, and boom, that's the end of the sketch. So, and then we get to where we are now. So, but yeah, so that was pretty much scuffed at the beginning, but hey, second episode of Sunday Night Live is not always going to go perfect, guys. All right. So that was actually the legit first sketch, and then we go into the next sketch, which is actually more like a music video. So for those unfamiliar, the most famous musical sketches that have come out are like songs "I'm on a Boat" or "D in a Box," or there's some other ones and everything. But this is actually a sketch where there's 3 women about my age or younger that go into a club, but then things start changing. For example, they talk about how they're getting too old to be in the club, and they get to the song that I can't play. But Kim Kardashian ends up falling asleep on the couch. One girl, Cecily Strong here, she actually ends up with lactose. She's lactose intolerant, so she ends up having to use the restroom just over some cheese, which is right here where she's actually going to the bathroom. This is actually a funny sketch. funny song. Like, for example, here's a prime example. Chris Redd's character is dancing up on her, and then as they start dancing, she has to go straight to the bathroom. So it's just basically about women getting old, but trying to go back to the club and relive their childhood or their young adult years, their teenage years, and it's turning out badly because they're getting old and deal with old things, which I understand. So that's why that more appealed to me. And it's a funny sketch, but I feel like a lot of younger people would not understand it. A lot of people my age would definitely understand it because they go through those woes. Okay, next thing is a reality show starring Kim Kardashian, where she has to put several lucky bachelors, which end up being like celebrities, like real celebrities. We have John Cena right here. This is Blake Griffin. This is Jesse Williams, Chris Rock. Actually, let me try to see if I can get a good full picture of this. It's easier if I can just get a full picture so I can, it's gonna be hard. Let me see if I can just play it to get it to the thing. Hold on. As long as I don't get copyright. All right, there it was. That's the scene I was looking for. Okay, come on. I don't want copyright. I need a full picture. There we go. Okay. So again, I'll repeat it again. It's John Cena, Blake Griffin, Jesse Williams, Chris Rock. This person here is the only one I really didn't know, and I had to look it up. And his name is Tyler Cameron. He's a football player apparently. And then we have here. Wait, is this Jesse Williams? No, this is Chase Christie, I think. Yeah, this is Chase Christie. And then we have in the middle, which is the dorkiest character, Kyle Mooney playing a character named Zeke. And so, of course, they go through the list of people she's choosing. She's given a coin to each one she keeps. And then she makes a funny little quip about how they're weird or awesome, things of that nature, like Blake Griffin doing something weird at a party. Just little slapsticky. Oh, yeah. And then, of course, at one point, she says she fell in love with the producer, which ended up being Amy Schumer. And she picks Amy Schumer to go on as well. So finally, when they get to the end, she has the choice between John Cena and Zeke. And of course, she said, Zeke, you're odd, you're weird, you're a geek. John Cena, you're married. I don't know why you're here. And then, of course, she ends up picking John Cena. And then he acts, again, the funniest thing about this, again, whenever I'm recapping these, it's kind of hard to explain things. But Zeke, played by Kyle Mooney here, actually does a really good job of being hilarious about how she missed out on being with him. And I actually enjoyed this sketch. It was actually well written. It's one of those things you have to actually see it. Again, always wanting to show this stuff, can't because it's copyrighted. But again, the link is below. The show is called The Dream Guy Reality Show. So if you click on the one that says Dream Guy, you can actually watch this sketch yourself and see if you enjoy it. And it was probably my third favorite sketch. The next one was actually quite hilarious, even though Kim Kardashian's family was involved. It's really funny. So, in this sketch, Aidy Bryant plays herself, Aidy Bryant. And then, of course, Kim Kardashian plays herself. And Kim Kardashian talks about how she wishes she can be normal. And Aidy Bryant, like she said, she wishes she can be normal and dull like you, Aidy Bryant. And Aidy Bryant's like, ouch. And Aidy Bryant, of course, says, I wish I could be like you, Kim Kardashian. So they touch a magic clock, and they end up switching places where Aidy Bryant becomes Kim Kardashian, and Kim Kardashian becomes Aidy Bryant. So when they make the wish happen, you'll start to see that Kim Kardashian is now dressing like Aidy Bryant and acting like her, while Aidy Bryant is just like wearing Kim Kardashian clothes and being Kim Kardashian, to the point where she doesn't want to switch back. She literally doesn't want to switch back. So she argues with Kim Kardashian's actual mom, and they switch and everything. So you'll see here, this is Kim Kardashian's mom. I forget her name. I've got it written down here. This tells you how much I know about the Kardashians. Let's put it that way. It's Kris Jenner. Yeah, Kris Jenner. I'm not sure. Like I said, I think that's her name. Kris Jenner And then Khloe Kardashian is sitting right beside her to the left, which I have heard that name before too. But basically, they touch the clock to switch. There's Khloe. And at the same time, Kris switches. And at the end of the sketch, now 80 is Kris Jenner. And Kim is back to being Kim Kardashian. And that's it. It was a funny sketch. The last part is what made it bad. As soon as they did the whole switching back, bringing the family in, as far as Kris Jenner and Khloe Kardashian, made it kind of feel like it was forced in there, and that kind of frustrated me, because it was a funny sketch until we get to this point right here, and that's when it kind of got into frustration of like how I felt about this sketch. But again, this one is actually called the Switch, and is actually below as well if you want to watch it too. All right, so then after this sketch, we go into the eyewitness news news report one, where they're actually doing the Powerball, and this one's way more silly than usual. So again, with this being very adult humor, they try to stick with it being more adult. This definitely went into the silly thing. So what happened was Kim Kardashian here is playing a character by the name of hold on a second. I'm scrolling down real quick. By the name of Shonda. Shonda. And she does the winning numbers, but the winning numbers ends up with, like, if you look right here, ends up with 3, 7, 9, and J, which of course J is not a number. So of course the other staff says, no, you messed up. And so they didn't end up doing Shonda's numbers, and her numbers end up being 3, 1000, blank, and Milwaukee Bucks ball from the draft picks. And so they start realizing the machine is messed up, and it continues on to get even way more sillier. For example, let me see if I can get to this one. Right. So yeah, this is the wallet one. So this one actually has a. Okay, so right before this, we got 3 meatball bread. Then we get cell phone, car keys, wallet, and condoms. And literally everything that's coming out of the machine is just more wackier and wackier, to the point of when the last one that gets drawn was actually won by Ego Wodum dressed as Diana Ross, and ended up being screwdriver, mustache, finger, and blood. It's really absurd. It's really weird. It's basically the lottery gone wrong, where everything else except for the actual lottery ball numbers come through the chutes. So it was silly. It was stupid, to be honest with you. And this is probably one of the reasons why a lot of people might say there's some downfalls. I know there's new writers here, so I really wasn't feeling this sketch as far as like the other ones. It definitely had more of a childlike behavior to it. I'm not childish. Just really, it was really bizarre and goofy. Like I see, here's the one with the 3 meatball, and bread. So again, it was truly, out there. There's the screwdriver one, but it really wasn't one of my favorites and everything. So anyway, so we move on after that sketch, and we end up going into Halsey's performance. Now, I am a fan of Halsey. I think she's a great singer. She's fun to watch. Of course, she's fun to watch on the eyes. And this is a song I actually liked that she performed called "I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God." It's a good song, but she's definitely going for a different look that I'm really not feeling. And unfortunately, her first performance was much better in my eyes than her second, because her second seemed a little to push the whole agenda. Or I don't know what I'm looking for as far as that, but it was okay performance. If you haven't seen the music video for "I Am Not a Woman, I'm a God," it's actually a really good music video. This performance was good, but she's it's very dark look to it, so I enjoy her music, but the performance wasn't the best. But by far, it was the best of the night, if I should put it that way. As far as her performances, like she's performed on Saturday Night Live 2 other times, four performances altogether, 2 different times, and those other performances definitely better. Especially the one she did. She also did one with G-Eazy. That was even better than this, but I don't want to get into the whole thing with her and G-Eazy. Okay, so as usual, after the musical performance, we go into Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che. Colin Jost, of course, is married to Scarlett Johansson, and I'll keep repeating that every time I see him because I hate that he got to marry Scarlett Johansson. Anyway, there's the whole Facebook thing. They make jokes about that. And there's also more about the debt ceiling, a lot of political humor, of course. And then, of course, every time we have Weekend Update, and then they do still go into the whole thing with R. Kelly, where apparently 2 of his channels on YouTube actually got pulled down from YouTube because of the scandal. And then also, apparently, Bill Cosby defends R. Kelly. And if you know what's going on in the world, that's not good. These are 2 bad people that should not be associated with each other. And then, of course, we go into the first call-in character. This is actually a character that Alex Moffat made here called the Terry Fink Film Critic. And he basically removes or reviews characters on LSD. Yes, I repeat that again, on LSD, acid. So he first talks about No Time to Die, the new James Bond movie. And he starts hallucinating stuff with James Bond. And then apparently it gets even worse because then he reviews Paw Patrol. And he said that the colors and everything made him trippy. And then he started melting and he started seeing the devil. And then he ends up reviewing, where's that? Then he ends up reviewing, where's that? There we go. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. And he literally had the wrong actors in this. And it just went downhill from there, but it was still hilarious. As far as his review, it went downhill. The drugs were really kicking in at that point, and he was saying some strange things, like literally he didn't even know Woody Harrelson or Tom Hardy was even in this movie. He thought Meryl Streep at one point was in this movie. It's really crazy. Liked his jokes and so on. Now we do have more. There was some jokes about. Lady parts and weed as well, which, and then of course another one about some luxury condos and someone making meth in there. I really shouldn't be getting into the drug humor. And then the worst thing is that apparently Lego did make a Titanic set that's over like $3,000 and they're selling it, and he made a really, really dark joke about it coming with Lego minifigures that are frozen. Like, let me see if I can get the picture. It's really dark. He says it comes with frozen characters, and if you know the story of Titanic, you know that things went dark. So then, of course, we have our final Lycan guest, which is played by Heidi Gardner, which is called Kelly Parker, Party Life Coach, and she basically keeps using the song "I Don't Care, I Love It" as her mantra, and it was really boring, to be honest with you. It was a really stupid parts of the show. Yeah. And that was Weekend Update, guys. Now, if you're not familiar, Weekend Update is always on Saturday Night Live. It's always right after the musical guest. It's been like that since I was a kid. So, and that was it. That was Weekend Update. So then we end up moving on to the next sketch, which they end up calling The People's Court, with Kim Kardashian playing Kourtney Kardashian. And it's basically a courtroom with Kim Kardashian as her sister, Kourtney Kardashian, with legal battles. So here we have her actual mom, Kris Jenner, and then here is supposed to be, I'll tell you right now, this is supposed to be, what I didn't write it down actually, but they're playing the Kourtney sisters, Halsey and Melissa Villaseñor. And it's basically just funny court sketches. We even have Mikey Day here playing Travis Barker. And probably the funniest twist ever. Well, first off, Chris Redd actually plays Kanye West, which that was actually really, really funny in that sketch. But what's really funny is this. In this part right here, both Pete Davidson plays Machine Gun Kelly, and then Chloe Fineman here plays Megan Fox. Now, the reason that's funny, if you're not familiar, Machine Gun Kelly and Pete Davidson are best of friends. They even did a Truth or Lies YouTube thing, and they're best of friends. So to see Pete Davidson playing his best friend Machine Gun Kelly is hilarious in this scene. I did not expect it, and it made me laugh on the inside just because of how funny it is if you know him as in his friendship with Machine Gun Kelly. And then they end it with with Kenan Thompson playing O.J. Simpson. And if you remember what I said in the monologue earlier, it was she used to know O.J. Simpson because of her father, and well, that goes dark. A dark ending, basically. And that's the People's Court with the Kourt court room, People's Courtroom sketch. This was okay. Actually, I'm gonna be honest with you, this was probably the funniest one. That and the Aladdin one are probably the funniest. But again, I told you earlier, you could tell on her face she's looking off screen because they give them cue cards to read, so she's not really good at memorizing lines, and you could tell the way she's looking. She's not comfortable doing sketch comedy. Luckily, when it comes to stuff like the People's Court, because she's sitting here, she can look off screen and it doesn't look as bad, or they would have the cue cards right in front of her, so she'd be looking right at the camera and it wouldn't be as awkward. But like scenes like where they had to do the side view, it would. Now here was the weird part, and then I would say actually the funniest sketch ever, okay? This is a sketch that's about, well, first and foremost, the sketch online, when I read it online, it's called Please Don't Destroy Hard Seltzer, all right? And the reason I bring this up is because this right here, these are not cast members. These are actually new writers on SNL, and they put them in a sketch. That doesn't happen as often. The only time that ever happened before was with Andy Samberg in The Lonely Island, that they actually put writers as cast members. Oh, of course, and then there's Tina Fey. Tina Fey used to be a famous writer on SNL, and then she became a main character on SNL. Well, this whole joke here is about how these two writers are there, and this writer says, hey, I'm going to get a seltzer. He's like, cool, what kind of seltzer are you going to get? And he ends up showing him it, and it ends up being something called J.C. Penney seltzer. Literally, like J.C. Penney, the store. Let me see if I can get a picture of it so you can see it. And he's basically saying, like, every big company now is making seltzer drinks. And they go more and more deep into it, where they end up coming in with another writer comes in with Jiffy Lube seltzer drink. And then he's like, is everyone getting a seltzer? A Dr. Spike tea, that kind of thing. And then it ends with him looking in the desk and actually finding one called Desk Seltzer. And again, when I'm talking about these sketches, it sometimes is those you have to be there situation. And this definitely, you had to be there to watch it. This was a funny sketch. And for the writers to actually perform it was beautiful, wonderful. Again, below it's called Do Not Destroy Seltzer. And it's a sketch that I was not expecting. I was delightfully enjoying it. It's very funny, the setup and everything. Again, me giving these away, I feel like it doesn't give it justice. It's definitely best to watch these sketches. But with that being said, that would be the second to last sketch. After this, we end up going to the second performance of Halsey, and she's actually with Fleetwood Mac's, I can't think of his name right now, but I have it listed here. Fleetwood Mac's Lindsey Buckingham. And they're doing a song called Darling. This is the song I referred to that wasn't entertaining at all. Honestly, her song before was way more entertaining. And even though I am a fan of Halsey, this was not the best performance for her. Even though I still enjoy it, wasn't the best. Then, this sketch didn't make me laugh, but I can understand the humor of it, and it's actually the last sketch of the night. And that was, apparently, if you remember seeing Amy Bryant in that skimpy outfit, this is apparently Kim Kardashian has her own thing called, let me make sure I say this correctly, Skims. And Skims are these like over outfit, like skin tone outfits that make the tighter skin, so you're not like, it didn't show overweightness. You know what I mean? That's what Skims are. So this whole joke is that they made Skims for dogs, and so you see them all holding dogs that are wearing Skims. And it actually is quite funny when you look at these animals having to wear these outfits. And they even make jokes like, do they have a spot for the animal to defecate or use the bathroom? And they're like, no, that's gross. So it is still a quite funny sketch. And then they show like the different tones, and they show different people holding different dogs in it and everything, which I was trying to show another one. There we go. Showing different dogs wearing Skims. And it's a chuckle moment, but it's not the best one in my eyes when it came to this. Which at the same time is why I want to go ahead and get into another thing. I felt like Kim was just basically here to show off fashion because she wore a lot of different outfits, and you can see her family does the same thing. And this is, by the way, this is the closing when they're closing out the show, and so that's it. That was season 47, episode 2 of Saturday Night Live, and honestly, this is not one of the best ones. It's not one of the worst ones. Definitely like the Donald Trump one, the Elon Musk one was horrible. Like, there's been some horrible Saturday Night Live episodes, but this is probably not the worst. Definitely not the best. If you're wanting to see your first take of Saturday Night Live, I would say definitely go for like a Will Ferrell episode. If you go look up Will Ferrell episodes of Saturday Night Live, you'll find probably the best ones. This by far was not the best, but again, there's hit or misses when it comes to SNL and their episodes. I myself didn't find too much humor. Like I said, the only sketches I could say that were really humorous to me, again, probably definitely be the People's Court one, just because they did a lot of characters, and Chris Redd's performance as Kanye West and Pete Davidson's performance as Machine Gun Kelly's hilarious. I do like the Seltzer one. The Seltzer one was pretty funny, and definitely the Aladdin one. The rest of it, not so good. So, short and sweet. Unfortunately, it kind of went off the rails there when I didn't have anything showing on the screen. I don't think Kim Kardashian's going to return. She did not look comfortable when it came to Saturday Night Live. But keep in mind, they do end up giving sports celebrities and other people that aren't really good in front of the camera, because sometimes it makes for great content or it doesn't. This is one of those misses. I would say if you're going to watch any at all, definitely go back to last week's episode and see the Owen Wilson episode. The Owen Wilson episode definitely had a lot more laughs, especially when they did the car sketch. It was pretty funny. This was dark and humorous. So if you didn't see my recap of Saturday Night Live episode 1 of season 47, where I talked about Owen Wilson and his Cars episode, because for those that don't know, he plays Lightning McQueen in Cars. That's funny. That was actually hilarious. That was definitely more enjoyable than this episode's episode. And they did also dedication to Norm Macdonald. But if I was to say, if you were to go back, I would say definitely go back to like an older season. Like, definitely check out like an older season where maybe Will Ferrell's hosting. Or even you could even go back to check out the Ariana Grande one. She actually was really funny. And what's really funny about this episode is this is around the time she met Pete Davidson. And then Pete Davidson and her started dating. So, it's I think personally that it's probably one of the funniest episodes, or actually enjoyable episodes, I should say. Sorry, not funniest, but actually really enjoyable episode that she did really well. Like, this is, okay, understand, there's people, I guess she's acted before, so she's familiar with being in front of the camera, but it was actually a little more enjoyable seeing this, and this is actually an older episode. This was back in, good Lord, season 41, so this is literally like 6 years ago, so definitely better episodes you can check of Saturday Night Live, but keep in mind, they've been doing Saturday Night Live since the 70s, so you can find some great ones. There's a Will Ferrell episode. This right here would be a great one to watch. Even the Seth Rogen, like I can understand, it all depends on who you get, and this, like, there are older seasons that definitely have better people in the role. Again, definitely getting Kim Kardashian was a slip up in my eyes. I don't think they did a good job of doing that with Kim Kardashian. So, lo and behold, I say if you like it, if you want to be introduced to Saturday Night Live and you've never watched it before, that would be it. But that's it, guys. That's pretty much my recap of episode 2. Now, I don't know. Let me see here. I think they already said who's going to be on the next episode. I think they already said who's going to be next episode. I don't remember. Let me see here. I'm pretty sure they already said. I'm going to go ahead. I think Wikipedia actually shows who's going to be on the next episode, and I think the next episode next week is, I know it's somebody I think that's actually going to be familiar. Let's hear. Okay, I guess they didn't show. I thought there was a way to find out which one they were. Here, let me see. Season 47. Episode 3. Okay, here we go. Rami Malek and Young Thug. Who is Rami Malek? I forgot who Rami Malek is. Oh, wait. Oh, Mr. Okay, I think he's actually been on the show before. He's going to be good. I feel like he's going to be a lot better than Kim Kardashian for sure. So apparently he's going to be hosting Saturday Night Live next week with musical guest. I don't know who this is. Oh, Young Thug. Oh, yeah. Okay, he does a song I like called I'm a Stoner, I'm a Stoner, I'm a Stoner. So honestly, next Sunday's episode, which will actually be right after DC Fandom, so it'll be interesting. I'll be doing both the DC Fandom stream and this stream. But this will actually air next week, and then of course I'll be doing a Sunday Night Live episode for this one. So I'm actually pretty excited for next week's episode more than I was this week's. Although I was hoping Halsey would be in a sketch because she's done sketch comedy before, but they didn't put her in a sketch today, or last night I should say. So, guys, that's it. This is what Saturday Night Live. This is what Sunday Night Live is all about. Recap of Saturday Night Live. Also, keep in mind if this show does well and we keep going, because I'm going to keep doing this. I enjoy this. I love talking Saturday Night Live. But if this show picks up and does well, we'll have guests and we'll do remembrances of people like Will Ferrell. And again, if I'm going to suggest any, how about this? Let me show you guys one other thing too, so you guys get an idea for those that have not watched it live. If I'm going to make any suggestions for episodes, I definitely have a playlist of all the episodes I love. I would say the More Cowboy sketch is probably one of the ones you should see. This is probably the most famous sketch of her. This is the one with Will Ferrell doing the More Cowbell with the and you've actually seen the More Llama Bell has actually been in Fortnite before too. So, but this is a good sketch to introduce yourself if you've never watched Saturday Night Live. And then a lot of people know this song as well, which is the one with Justin Timberlake and Andy Samberg. So. Definitely go check all these out and everything if you have not watched Saturday Night Live, or if you just love Saturday Night Live and want to see a good list of shows. My SNL sketches playlist has a lot that you can go watch that I put in there, and I always put ones that I do enjoy, so I think you definitely will enjoy it yourself. But anyway, that's it, guys. That's episode 2 of Sunday Night Live for season 47, episode 2 of Saturday Night Live. So. Again, thank you for joining us for Sunday Night Live. I am your host, Putty Man, and I have been live in my bedroom this Sunday night. Guys, we're going to call it from there. I'll see you guys tomorrow on the regular stream, and I'll see all you SNL fans for next week's Sunday Night Live. It's been a pleasure hosting this with you guys. Everyone have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll talk to you later.